Alright, so last night I posted a video. It was a review on this game, and then I remembered I forgot two important things that I wanted to talk about that I did not talk about in that video. Because in order, okay, so when I say that this is a fun game, what I meant to say was, if you get this game, well, first of all, make sure you don't pay full price for this game. Do not pay full price for this game, okay? But if you're going to play this game, do not pick the Pyromancer. I forgot to really stress that in the video last night. We need to talk about the Pyromancer, okay? So the problem with the Pyromancer is Little Mama picked the Pyromancer and I picked the Trickster. As a matter of fact, this is my original, this is my first character in this game, the Trickster. But yeah, so Little Mama, she picked the Pyromancer, I picked the Trickster. And it seemed like no matter how far she progressed in the game, she never felt as powerful as she should feel. And that was a problem. So I would say the Pyromancer is incredibly underpowered. And I think it's because a lot of enemies just kind of completely ignore the full damage of a Pyromancer's powers somehow, some way. She just felt like they just weren't responding to her like the way they responded to when I was applying my powers on them, right? So my altered powers seemed a lot more powerful to her. So she went back and she decided to pick a different character. She picked the Trickster. I picked a Technomancer, and we started the entire story again. And this time, she did feel a lot more powerful. So I want to start this video off by saying do not pick the Pyromancer, especially if it's your first time playing. Pick something like the Demolisher, the Technomancer. The Technomancer, I can testify, is an incredibly fun altered character to play. It really is. I enjoyed being a Technomancer immensely. I'll probably go back and play a Demolisher, but I'm never going to touch the Pyro. I'm not going to waste my time playing a Pyromancer in this game. So there's that. So yeah, I wanted to make that absolutely clear. I did not make that clear last night in my first video review. And I wanted to fix that mistake because I don't want anybody starting this game off playing a Pyromancer. You're probably not going to have a good time. Okay, the second thing I wanted to talk about that I did not talk about was the character class tree, okay? Like this right here. This is one of those trees that is so suffocating. The game just sort of trickles in like one class point here, one class. And you kind of have to like, okay, so let's say I want to, just for some reason, I want to go for this defining perk or maybe this defining perk. And you notice that like a lot of them are sort of locked behind several of these smaller nodes, and you feel like you kind of gotta, you know, like, here's a good example, like this one down here. I wanted that one, so I had to go out of my way to, like, every perk I got, I had to focus, right? Now, this particular perk is like super close to the beginning, but I noticed like in my with my Technomancer, that perk was like way up here, like super far away, so I had to focus all of my perks toward pushing toward that one biggie, right? So you got to push all the way 1, 2, 3 steps. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4 step process of getting to something like this. And that was a little suffocating, especially like with the Technomancer, where that perk happens to be like way further down the tree. And even then, it's kind of moving toward a, it could be, maybe I don't want to be like a techno shaman. Maybe I wanted to be like I don't know, a different, I wanted to branch off into a different part of the tree, but I had to stop and invest in each node to get me to a defining perk in that skill tree, even if that was not the direction I wanted to go. So that was a little awkward. I wanted to make sure I covered those two things before I forget them again. So yeah, I wanted to tell you guys, just like in the previous video, this is a really fun game. And it performs very well on a PS4. It looks beautiful. The gunplay is fun. The gear and like the different mods that you can get for your gear, it's so fun to like mix match. You can go to Dr. Zaid, and he can help you. Like if there's like a weapon that you really love, like there's a light machine gun that you love, or an assault rifle you love, you can go to the good doctor and you can raise the attributes of that weapon if you are starting to level and you haven't found a replacement for that weapon, or maybe you just want to keep that weapon. You could, in theory, level your gear up through, where is he? Where's the good doctor? Is he not here? Ah, here he is. Yeah, so you can go over here to Dr. Zaid.
Outrider, have you had any
Zaidi?
success locating another obelisk?
So you could upgrade your gear, right? Let's say I'm just crazy in love with this assault rifle, and let's say it's like a level lower than I am, but I'm worried that it's not as powerful. You could actually go over here, and you could raise the level of it.
Let me know as soon as you find another obelisk. They seem to be the key to all of this.
Oh my gosh, shut up. That gets on my nerves. The talking, the incessant talking. You could use your iron that you find out in the world, or what you use, like you scrap weapons, you get iron, you can use that to keep leveling these weapons as you see fit. Now, if you want to level a weapon, make it improve the rarity, you will need titanium for that, which I think is a great idea. I love how the game does give you control over your gear. You're not just swapping in and out constantly, although you could do that. You could always opt to keep your gear and just keep leveling it through leather and iron. So you stockpile your leather and your iron, you can use that to continue to upgrade your current level up your current gear, right? That's a great idea. I love that idea. I hate the fact that when it comes to certain parts of leveling your gear, you have to have titanium, which is the rarest shit here. But that's good. That's good. You know, the game doesn't...
I'm glad to have Dr. Zahidi back safe.
The game doesn't, like, punish you. I wouldn't call it, like, a punishment of some kind, you know? But I could definitely see where this game could take advantage of people's pockets. And I kind of wonder... I kind of wonder if this online all the time thing, which this game does suffer from, is not in fact, was not in fact part of some kind of possible game design, where they could slide in microtransactions. Like you could get XP boosters, maybe get loot boxes with rare with titanium and other like rare materials and stuff. I can't help but think they may have thought about including that into this game, because after finishing this game, there's nothing about this game that tells me it should have been an online all the time game. There's nothing here, and it puts a bad taste in my mouth. Just like I said last night, there's no reason for this game to be an online all the time game. If I had spent full price on this game, and I find out I needed an internet connection to play it, it would have went back to the store, because that's how I feel about online all the time games. But I didn't pay full price for it, so it doesn't sting as bad as it could. It doesn't sting nearly as bad as it could. But yes, the game looks amazing. I mean, look at that. That is brilliant. I mean, it's like each area that you explore, it's eye candy. Eye candy as far as the eyes can see. It's just so beautiful. This world is so beautifully crafted, and you just want to explore every nook and cranny of it. As long as but first you have to get through the bajillions of loading screens to get from one area to the next, which that didn't bother me nearly as much as it being online all the time. And arguably, if this game was a single player experience with just simply like a co-op mechanics, there probably wouldn't be that many loading screens. So I think the loading screens are they're there as a safeguard against this game looking like a broken mess, right? I think that's why there's so many loading screens here. Because it is online all the time. That's such a shame. But yes, okay, so the story is good. It's not groundbreaking, but it is interesting. And the voice acting was very well done. Even though sometimes it feels like the characters never shut up when you're just, oh my gosh, that doctor, he's probably the worst. You'll be sitting there trying to upgrade your gear, and he's like, oh, we're gonna die. We're all gonna die. We're gonna die. Like, he's stuck in this loop when you're trying to upgrade your gear. He'll do stuff like that. It's really annoying. But as far as the story goes, the voice acting is very well done. There was no major plot twist. Like, ooh. And I hate to say it, but the endgame boss fight was... Oh, it sucked. Okay. Like in my last video, I'm going to tell you straight up that the boss fight is a recycled boss that you encountered, and it's not going to be the one you think it was, okay? I thought Malak was going to be the boss we would encounter at the end. He's not. It's this other jackhole, and oh, by the way, he somehow has shamanistic powers, and it's a two-phase boss fight. He starts off with shamanistic powers, so this thing that looks like a cross between a predator and an orc from Lord of the Rings. He's floating through the air like a fairy because now all of a sudden he's got shaman powers. How did he get them? Not an effing clue. No effing idea, right? And then when you defeat him, you have to fight him again. And this time he's got Kratos powers. So he goes from being, so you go from fighting Harry Potter, predator looking Harry Potter thing, to a predator or orc with Kratos powers. It felt lazy. It felt really lazy, and he was so overpowered. Even for me and Little Mama tag teaming this guy, he was incredibly overpowered. It was super lazy. It's one of those moments where they want to throw. It's what I like to call when everything wants to kill you. That's what it happened in Prey. It happens in a lot of games. They ran out of ideas. They ran out of clever stuff to throw at you. So now it's, well, everything wants to kill you. Or let's make one particular enemy super OP because we don't have enough stuff in this area to throw at the players. So let's just make the one boss enemy super OP and make him overly challenging, so that way after he kills you 20 times and you finally do manage to defeat him, you'll feel very satisfied, like you accomplished something. You don't get anything from this boss fight that you get at the end. So the best thing to do is to lower the challenge down, all the way down, steamroll over him, because it's a lazy boss fight anyway. Steamroll right through him so that way you can get to the end game content. Again, the game offers you so much more, even after you're done exploring and enjoying the world, each area of the world you get put in. They have expeditions after the fact, so you can continue your adventure. What a brilliant idea! That's awesome. It feels like this game just dumps all these goodies on you. Awesome post-game content. Which is great because, I mean, like, what was it? Tiny Tina's Wonderland and Dying Light 2, games that had come out just this year. Neither one of them had any post-game content worth a damn. So it is refreshing to find a game that was designed, like the end game story intertwines with the post-game content. and they did it in a really clever way. I love that. Um, yeah, so because you really don't want to leave. I don't want to leave this world. I love it. Every chance we got to do a side quest or pick up an assassin's contract, we went off and we did it. And okay, so the side quests, do not miss your opportunity with side quests, okay? Go off and do them. Yeah, it may seem a little fetch questy, but what you get in return, the game rewards you handsomely. Oh, go here, kill a bunch of enemies, pick up this lipstick, bring it back to the historian lady. Oh, here is a purple assault rifle that eats everything up in its path. You give her lipstick, she gives you badass weapons. And that's like that with every side mission. No side mission in this game feels like a waste of your time. It all feels like an adventure, and there's some really great loot waiting for you at the end of it. Great game. Love it. I wished it wasn't online, but at the very least, I'm happy to see that it's not a microtransaction ridden piece of junk. I'm happy to see that. If you can get this game cheap, get this game. Get it. You're gonna love it. I didn't experience, me and Little Mama, we didn't experience like hardly any crashes with this game at all. There were times where I totally forgot it was an online all the time game. It looks gorgeous. It's fun to play. It feels like a real adventure. I just wished it wasn't online all the time. But anyway, yeah, so I wanted to redo the review because I really wanted to talk about like the leveling tree, and I wanted to talk I wanted to turn you away from the pyromancer. I don't want anybody picking this game up and be like, I'm going to be a pyromancer, and you're going to feel like you can never advance in the challenge trees to get better loot because everything steamrolls you because you feel so underpowered, because you are in fact underpowered as a pyromancer. Don't pick that character class. Technomancer, I'm assuming the Demolisher is a good one too, and of course the Trickster. Stay away from the pyromancer though. Okay. They should have swapped the pyromancer out with like maybe like an altered who can I don't know, like elemental pick well, you know, they could have like frost damage worked really well here with my Technomancer. They could have, I don't know, they could have given the Technomancer stasis powers, and they could have created an altered whose powers were specifically to do with ice and frost damage, right? That would have been cool, because the pyromancer feels like it doesn't do hardly anything. But when I punch something with my frost abilities, you can tell it bothers them a lot. So yeah, I don't know, I'm just spinning out ideas here. But anyway, yes, Outriders, super fun game. If you can get it cheap, get it cheap. Now's the time to be playing this game. It looks good, it feels good, it's a wonderful game. You can play on PS4. I'm assuming it's great on PS5 too. Yeah, just get it. But if you have a terrible internet connection, don't buy this game. That's one of the reasons why I hate the whole online all the time thing. Imagine people out there with really bad internet connections. They can't play this effing game because it needs an internet connection. For what reason? Don't know. But I want to play it by myself. Too bad. You have to be online. Suck it up, Buttercup. Really. That's what this game's saying, right? So yeah, if you have a terrible internet connection, do not buy this game. Stay away from it. And that's sad. That's a real kneecap here. This game kneecaps itself by being online all the time, because not everybody has a good internet connection. Not everybody can be online all the time. But that doesn't mean they shouldn't be able to enjoy this game. So, People Can Fly are the people that came up with this game. They need to implement a patch that if you are doing a single player run, you shouldn't have to be online. So they need to think about that one, right? Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. A wonderful evening, a wonderful morning, and I will catch you on the flip side.